And welcome back to Snatch N Run. I am Pat here with Rachelski, and we are now in our other semi-final. It's going to be Balanced Diet going against Stellar Tired. Rachel?
So we are going to watch a team that we've watched before. In our previous exhibition match, we watched Balanced Diet versus Snooze Button. Very, very good team. Bikuli, Clang, Clash, and -25. We've watched them play before. We know them, and they're all incredibly talented. Stellar Tides, they are extremely talented and very good. All four of them, Reset, Demo, Burb, and Cookie So, they're all very, very good players. We haven't seen them on the tournament before, but it will be very interesting to see what they're capable of today.
Yeah, there's a lot to show from these upcoming teams that want to challenge teams like Balanced Diet and Snooze Button. And we expect them to show us a few good fishing tonight. Now, Snooze Button, they won 3-0, and they're already qualified for the finals. Balanced Diet, they're seed number 1. Can they match that? Can they also make that statement that they deserve their spot there? Can Stellar Tide create the surprise? We'll see.
Stellar Tide are absolutely capable of being in the final themselves. It feels very weird to have these four amazing teams, and losing a team like the Goofy Goobers so soon feels like almost unjust in a way, but the competition is so fierce between these four teams. So even whoever loses today, it doesn't mean they're not a good team. It just means they've had an off day and the other team has outperformed them. It's crazy how good these teams are.
Yeah, for sure. If you make one mistake, you're going to lose the wave. You're going to lose the whole shift. Now, we're going to start back on Sokai Station again.
We're following quite a similar thing here. The first one being Sockeye Station, the second one being Marina's Bay, and the third one being Bone Rattle. Again, this is best of 5, so potentially if one team goes 3-0, you won't see the last two maps, Gone Fishing and a second Sockeye. But it will be good to see some points for either team here. Maybe we get a match that goes down to the final game. It'd be good to see.
Yeah, one thing to note though, these are the same maps. They're not the same seed. And you'll have such different games to happen. Like these teams know these maps perfectly. They know everything that they can do. But each seed is going to be an absolutely new story, and we'll see how they're able to react.
Yes. And like you said, these are not the same scenario codes as the previous games that we've just watched. So everything is going to be different. We might see more night waves. We might see more day waves. We don't know what we're going to do. Map. Actually, I've just realized we've made a mistake.
Have we?
Yeah, because this map list is literally from the last round. The first one is going to be Jam and Salmon Junction.
Okay.
The second one is going to be Smoke Yard, and the third one is going to be Spawning Grounds. I've just received confirmation that we have the wrong image for games 1, 2, and 3. The stream is sort of incorrect at the moment, but it happens.
Fixed. In the meantime, I guess we can maybe start. Wait, I cannot see the stream, Toshi.
Yeah.
Okay, stream is back. Okay, everything is all right. I think we're still live, so it's fine. Can you hear us, chat? I hope you can hear us.
Yes.
I guess we'll fix things up soon, but in the meantime, we can give the countdown to our teams.
Yes. We'll let them know that we're ready for them to ready up, and hopefully we will get them going momentarily.
Yeah, so as you said, we're starting with Jammin' Squid Junction, right?
Yes, Jam and Salmon Junction, considered one of the best maps in the game for its ability to get very high scores very easily.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, it will be. It was a seed that was made on a mystery rotation, so it's hazard, and it's going to be absolutely random weapons, which means these teams will need to adapt even more because random weapon forces you to adapt faster. The comps are less balanced, but also like more fun because of it. I think.
Yes, yeah. And so do we have Grisco weapons or is it no, it's just random. Okay. I wasn't sure
Yeah.
if it was Grisco or random, but we've got the 52 Junior Splash and Stamper, which is quite a good comp for wave 1.
Yeah.
But it's Rush. Rush is interesting. Rush is considered not fun for various reasons, and I do think personally it needs to be fixed in a way. But Rush in an overfishing sense it's not bad because the wave is bad. It's bad because the eggs don't the total of eggs you can get is not as easy. Balanced diet wiping in wave 1. What would we have done there? That would have been an easy GG's for Stellar Tides there, and we're talking the potential for an upset, and it may have just happened. Yeah. Talking about that though, Stellar Tides just had 3 players down too. This is the problem with Rush, and I think a lot of people will agree with us here, that one death in Rush is the start of a snowball that can be very difficult to recover from. We are seeing specials from both teams here to help recover.
And especially on this map, you want to stay close to the basket, but there is no way to retreat to. There is no wall to cling to from the basket. You're in constant danger. If you don't maintain your DPS, you are in trouble. And I feel like that Stamper needs to go a bit more upfront because it's the only area of effect weapon in the team.
Yeah, so one of the things with Rush to really truly get the most out of Rush is you need to have 1 or 2 weapons filtering the chum. So the goldies spawn for every 20 chum that spawn. So if you don't kill the chum quickly, there will be no more goldies spawning. And so you're encouraged to play really aggressively to get more goldies spawning. That was incredibly close. There was only an 8 egg difference there, and both teams suffering there. I think it was a bit of a shock, actually, for Rush to be wave 1.
They were not ready, but yeah, we are changing all the weapons right now, and we have double Julies, including, I believe that's your favorite red one, Rachel, the Tetra Julies.
Well, you were going to say the Tens Umbrella? This is why I like commentating with Pat, because he just throws me a curveball just for no reason. This is an interesting comp. I mean, the Tensor, the Clash, the Splat Julies, they're all very good weapons to decent weapons, and the Clash Blaster's got really good AoE, so it actually works well. But the Tetras, you're going to have a hard time, especially at hazard level max with the Tetras. They don't kill quick enough, and their ink consumption is bad. So this is quite a challenging code for these guys.
That's a bit how the game is so different from PvP, because in PvP you have the Tetras, you're moving so fast, people can't shoot at you. But in Salmon Run, the fish, they don't care much about that.
No, and even just something quite simple like a Cohawk has 400 HP, and the Tetras take forever to kill a Cohawk. So imagine what it's like trying to kill bosses with more HP. The Tetras are a big problem in Salmon Run, and we see one player go down on balanced diet here. They look like they're recovering quite well. One of the here we go. I was going to say I thought we were going to see a special here to try and help egg running, and we do from balanced diet here to get rid of those statics so that they can run eggs in the last 15 seconds with less enemies damaging them.
Yeah, that's a lot of fish. There's Stellar Tide in the end of that wave, looking to squeeze as many eggs as you can. I believe it's Valu that said, if in the last second of the game you're not running an egg, you're throwing the games, and that's what you see these players do.
Wow, 68 eggs from balanced diet to Stellar Tide's 64 eggs. Incredibly close there. Another thing we want to talk about is egg counts. So for wave 3, the maximum eggs that will appear if these two teams play very well is 105. Yeah, and so when you see a team get 70 or 80 eggs, it's good to consider it in the scope of there was 105 that spawned in total. And that's what these teams will be focused on. How many eggs they can retrieve out of the total. For day waves, there is always an end limit. There isn't, they're not an infinite amount of eggs. So for this particular wave type and hazard, there's 105.
Yeah, if you're playing freelance and you want to make quota, you count the eggs that you manage to get to the basket. These players, they count the eggs that they missed in the wave. Right now, all the double stingers surviving the attack and getting a splat. That is a lot of time lost on the charger.
Yeah, this comp is a bit of a, talking about random rotations, you're forced to adapt to whatever comp you are given by the game, whatever random comp you are given. And you've got the charger here, which is nice for the range and the one-shotting of bosses and ability to pierce. But it isn't particularly the strongest of comps with these 4 weapons. They don't all have... That was a nice reef slider. They don't all have the potential to do a lot of damage. Yeah, nice reef sliders here from Stellatide. Reef sliders very good for the end of the wave when they're trying to run eggs to get rid of lessers. And again, it's quite close. Balanced Diet getting 74 and Stellatide's getting 74. Wow.
Both teams getting the same amount in that wave. So it's going to be decided by the other two. And that's where the risk reward that we saw on Rush decides everything. It looks like Balanced Diet is over 200. So they're going to get game number 1.
That was so close. I think that first wave really spooked both the teams. And forced them to confront that they need to sort of stay aware and stay awake and see this is what the game can throw at you. I can't believe how close that game was. It's a really nice way to start this tournament for these two teams.
Yeah, very nice.
Look at this.
As you can see, these they were very, very close to each other. We're within 12 eggs is the difference between these two teams right there.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said with the other two teams, these two teams are proof of it. These two teams can swap these scores and potentially get more on a different day. It's possible they can get even higher, and they both played exceptionally well. But it is Balanced Diet that takes game 1 here.
And the thing to note, Rachel, look at these power eggs. More than 6,000 on both sides. They were simply shooting the fish constantly, non-stop. And really showing us, you have to shoot over and over, maintain the splats on the fish, otherwise you're the one who's going to get destroyed.
You saw there, Stellatide had more power eggs than Balanced Diet, but that's not what we're scoring it on. We're scoring it on whoever gets the most golden eggs, and that was Balanced Diet.
Yeah, and we are now going back to work. This time it's going to be on Salmon Smokyard, and this is not HLM. The difficulty is 275, which is already pretty nice.
So one of the interesting things about Salmon Run is that you can have lower hazard codes if they've got some night waves in. They still have the potential to score really high. And like I thought, this starts off with a night wave. We're starting off with Goldie Seeking, and the weapons. Tri-Stringer and Nautilus are very, very good for Goldie Seeking. Big Swig and Splash, not so much, because one of the things you want to prioritize with Goldie Seeking is damaging that Goldie very quickly so you're able to get another one at full health very quickly.
Big Swig is low DPS, but it can just stand in front of the Goldie and let the Goldie push it and make simply a line of eggs. It's better the more damage you have on your roller, but every roller can do that to an extent.
Yes, the only issue with Big Swig is it's more bouncy than every other roller, so you tend to get thrown about a bit. But you can see here with Balanced Diet, we're watching their perspective. They are opening the gushers so quickly here. The Goldie has spawned in the same place 3 times in a row here, but you can see how quick the teams are working to open these gushers to get the Goldie to come to basket and to shred it as soon as possible so that they can run those eggs quickly.
Yeah, and It's especially next to the basket that the shredding arrives. And what is especially important is that they get to splat the Goldie. If they don't splat the Goldie, it's a small Goldie that reappears after that has way less HP and that's going to spread less egg on the ground.
Yeah, like that. If you don't splat the Goldie quick enough, it respawns as a smaller Goldie, which is a time waste. Which, you know, for these teams, time is the biggest factor here. God, very close here. Balanced right with 82 to Stellar Tide's 74. And I think the reason for that was Balanced right were a lot quicker opening those chutes there.
Yeah, how fast you can open them can allow you to plan ahead and decide, okay, the Goldie is there, we have that amount of time to run eggs while the Goldie gets closer to the basket. And now we get another night that is High Tide Mothership, and honestly, it's High Tide Mothership on this map is fun. It's one of the few motherships that I enjoy.
It's very interesting on this. I can't see where the Snatchers are spawning from, but Snatchers are very important on High Tide on this map. Oh, we've got good Snatcher spawning. So they're spawning behind the basket to the left. So the second island, the island that doesn't have a basket, that now opens the possibility of not having to use your ink to throw all of those eggs back. You can allow some of them to be taken back by the Snatchers, which is huge. There's a potential for a lot more eggs.
Here comes the strikes on the basket allow you to hurt not only the basket but the Chinooks that are spawning on top of it and destroy them, which makes eggs rain onto the basket. We're still watching the Nautilus here, trying to run the eggs as they are still splatting the fish all around them.
Yeah, and you know, we said this about the Bone Rattle Mothership. Ink consumption and ink efficiency is really important for Mothership because you have to throw eggs, defeat Chinooks, and you know, run eggs as well. And another really important thing here is you can look how smooth this Mothership wave is because they're not letting any crates with Chinooks land and be able to spawn lessers. The only lessers that spawn are from Chinooks and crates that haven't been defeated. So if you defeat those crates, they won't spawn. And now we're seeing the manic egg collection in the last few seconds from both teams. What do we end with? Stellar Tides with 94, Balanced Right with 88. Crazy.
Stellar Tides getting a bit more eggs right there, getting back in there. It's going to be decided by wave number 3. These two teams are pretty close to each other right now.
Yeah, though this is working out to be an excellent pairing here because it's quite neck and neck. And again, wave 3 is another night wave. It is Mad Mouse, which has the potential to allow high egg counts, and again we're seeing immediate specials from Balanced Right. Inkjet is so good at defeating Mad Mouse, able to defeat 2 Mad Mouse there. Do we have good snatchers? We do have good snatchers again.
There's a lot of eggs that are about to come, especially since the first 2 waves. They didn't take that many specials from these 2 teams, so they're gonna pummel every Mad Mouse that appears. We won't see much fish today.
No, the specials, they are way more important, I would say, because we know, as you know, it's sort of, you know, easier to say in retrospect, but the specials have been way more important for Mudmouth and Mothership rather than Seeking, potentially, because they were able to shred the Goldie without many specials. But to defeat the Mudmouth, you have to throw 3 bombs in, and so you need better ink consumption and, speed it up, more specials. So having more specials here puts a team in an advantageous position.
Yeah, right now, another gold Mudmouth spawning. Remember, the higher the difficulty, the more gold Mudmouths you get, which means the more golden eggs you get as well.
Yeah, and this again, look, we're looking very close in terms of scores. Both teams in the last just 10 seconds are now looking to put as many golden eggs into the basket. Balanced Diet able to kill a golden Mudmouth right next to basket, allowing them to break 80. Stellar Tides breaking 90. I think Stellar Tides are taking a point off of Balanced Diet here.
That's a close one, but yeah, I think Stellar Tides winning 2 waves are going to be able to pull through.
What is the final score? We can't see.
We don't see, show us.
We can't see.
They're both above 200, which for a difficulty 275 is
the suspense is killing me. Look at Clash running 104 eggs. Clash, I'm very impressed.
Yeah, Clash not stopping. And that's the power of the host right there, absolutely. Okay, so 258 for Stellar Tides.
258 Stellar Tides.
And how much is Balanced Diet? Balanced Diet, show us.
255! Oh my god!
3
Oh my god!
eggs!
I'm on the floor! I'm on the floor, guys.
3 eggs separating.
3 egg difference. I'm so impressed.
And so many golden eggs ran by the person who was the host, and that's pretty important right there to whoever is on the top of your team is the one that has the least egg lag, which means they get to run more. Wait, it was Clash running 100 eggs there?
I think it's different on the results screen.
Oh,
But
okay,
Clash,
that's why.
yeah. I just can't believe I'm in a situation where 255 eggs is the losing score. It's absolutely insane. Both teams got over 250, but one of them had to lose.
Yeah, one team has to lose. We need to move on. That means we get to see a 4th map today. We'll get to see Gunfish and Hydroplant in this set. But first, we get to see Spawning Grounds. Spawning Grounds is one of these maps that is...
one of these maps.
one of these maps that I personally love, but I fully understand why people really don't want to see this map in rotation.
It's a very it's a very tricky map with very tricky static spawns and very I don't know what the word is, unfriendly, just like spawning and sort of half the map is grated to one side, which doesn't help you with movement.
It's unforgiving, and
it really is.
The map is mean to you. Like, the map is straight up mean to you, but that's what I like, because I like that kind of maps. I like that kind of play where you're constantly running around trying to fix all the issues that the map is bringing to you. Let's see both of these teams getting in there. Stellar Tides is the team we're going to follow for wave number 1.
Yes, and like you said, we're guaranteed to see a game 4 here, not a wave 4. Getting ahead of myself. We're guaranteed to see a game 4 here, which will be Gone Fishing, a map we haven't seen today.
And first thing these two teams do is paint every wall they can see. Every wall on this map needs to be painted, otherwise you're in trouble.
So I think the secret to Spawning Grounds is to paint the walls. One of the things I don't mind about Spawning Grounds is that it's easy to traverse if your walls are painted. And it helps with things like Squid Surge and things like that, which are much more enjoyable in this game compared to Splatoon 3. So I actually prefer this map in Splatoon 3, which is crazy. I never thought I would say that. I've sort of warmed up to it as time has gone on. I still don't think it's great. We can see here Stellar Tides are making the decision whether to go for Stingers here, because the Stingers spawn down on the docks. You have to get rid of that. And there's another one. We're seeing specials here straight away. Specials do things quicker and give you more time to run eggs. So it's really important to recognize from an overfishing perspective when a special is useful so that your team are safe to run eggs.
I feel like the Snatchers... I haven't seen where the Snatchers were coming from. I think it's from beach. But yeah, they're going to be key also. Every egg that falls onto the grate will be dragged back to the basket by the Snatchers. Both teams need to pay attention to that and be ready to splat the Snatchers when they come.
Yeah, and it does mean they have to make more of a priority to run eggs that fall onto the right side of the map by a beach, so that they don't get taken away by Snatchers here. Spawning Grounds is quite tough in a lot of ways for reasons we've mentioned here, but these two teams make it look easy. Look at this! Look at the perspective! Awesome. 71 to 65.
Yeah,
I like this team.
Balanced Diet, able to get a few more eggs here. But that is just wave number 1. And now we got double charger, double slosher. And that's, in Splatoon 2, that was the perfect combo.
So it's still really, really good in Splatoon
Oh, yeah.
3, but you are gonna have to, like we've spoken about already, ink management is gonna be so important here.
Oh, yeah.
Both weapons have the ability to pierce, but the Grizzco Slosher has the ability to pierce through armor here. So your Grizzco Sloshers are gonna be more focused on piercing and breaking cycles of enemies, whereas your Grizzco Charger, they're gonna be working more, I guess. I don't even know how you would determine roles with, only these two weapons, because they're both really efficient slayers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, these players, they with these weapons, they will destroy everything in sight. The Slusher needs to pay more attention to the fly fish and to the things that are harmless. So I guess the Charger would be a bit more focused on to the lessers, but right now everything is dead, so it doesn't matter that much.
Yes, yeah. They're gonna have a bit of a tricky time with bosses like fish sticks and lessers, I would say, if not managed well, because their ink consumption is an issue here. We're looking at Stellatides here. They ran out of ink. The person who, I can't remember who was specking for Stellatides, they ran out of ink. And so they used the special here to help them, A, recover ink, but B, get rid of those statics as well. So these are sort of minute things that you wouldn't necessarily think of if you don't overfish this game to like a really high. But it's really important to combine tasks together. Neck and neck in the last 10 seconds. The teams are very close in terms of egg count, but it looks like Balanced Diet are taking wave 2 with 80 to 76.
Yeah, but I think in total that's a bit under 10 eggs of lead for Balanced Diet right now. Nothing Stellatide can't get back from, especially going into High Tide, which has to be one of the most chaotic High Tide you can get.
Right, the High Tide on spawning grounds, I understand when people tell me they don't like spawning grounds, just for High Tide alone. Half the map is useless because it's grated, and the other half is very cramped and small, and there's nowhere to run, There's nowhere to hide, and I think that forces teams, like from an experienced Salmon Run player, that tells me that I need to be more aggressive with what I'm doing. But for other players, they might not necessarily know that, especially if you're new to the game. Excellent stick cancelling here, there, for Balanced Diet. It allows the eggs to be collected much quicker. But this Grizzco Stamper doing really well here.
With two Grizzco Stampers, it's not you that's stuck up with a lot of fish. It's a lot of fish that's stuck with you, desperately trying to flee from the onslaught that Balanced Diet is bringing right now. We see the eggs flying everywhere as, it's not stopping. These forces are dying as soon as they're spawn, and that's the edge that you have on High Tide.
I think what's really important to mention as well is that everybody knows what the Grizzco Stamper can do. It can shred through armor and it can do 1200 damage. But I think unless you play this game a lot, I think you may not know that the Grizzco Stamper, it does 200 tap damage. It is so good at getting rid of lessers, and so you can see how clean this map is of lessers here because of these Grizzco Stampers. And again, last 5 seconds, but it looks like Balanced Diet is taking the third game here. Not even by much. 89 to 80. Congratulations to both teams here. They played so well.
That was a hectic final wave, but both of these teams stayed completely on top of it. If you're able to splat the fish faster than they spawn, that's what it looks like. It doesn't matter that you're on High Tide, but things are so close to you. They are getting splatted over and over. Right now, Balanced Diet showing us a bit more optimization. Nobody died in there. It was really going slightly faster, maintaining a bit more ink on their ink tank so that they could throw one extra egg and to just pull through and get ahead in game number 3.
Yeah, we saw that was 240 to 221. So not a massive difference there, but something, amazing from both teams. Both teams are just quickly putting the next code in. They've just been given the code. None of the teams know the games they're going to be playing until just before they're playing. So they're just loading this Gone Fishing hydroplant code, and I would talk about it, but I might wait until we go in before we talk about it.
Yeah. I mean, we can talk about gunfish and hydroplant in general. It was announced very early before Splatoon 3 came out, and instantly, I believe the second we had the map, the layout on the map, we saw top of the fishers go around it, put in, like, show it on screen and do reviews on it and show, oh, we can lure fish while being on top of them, and we can get a lot and a lot of points all the while we stay safe, which has allowed this map to rise as one of the best maps for overfishing.
And here we are. Here's the results from both teams.
Yep.
240 from Balanced Diet and 221 from Stellar Tides. Crazy good scores. Very exciting games here. We're on to game 4. And if Stellar Tide take the point here, we're going to see game 5.
Yeah. Stellar Tide, they've managed to do it once. They've shown that they can do it. We are talking about top level overfishers going on rough seeds, trying to get the best. Anything is possible, and Balanced Diet are certainly our front runners, the team that is set to win it all. But Stellar Tides, they don't count them out. They are on fire today.
Yeah, don't count them out. They've taken a point off the highest seeded team in this tournament. So there is potential for them to do well here and to potentially take another point.
Yeah, and so let's get ready. I think we can give them a countdown.
I've done it. They should be going in. Yes.
Yes, let's go.
So we can talk about this code now. This is hazard level max. This is 333 difficulty.
Yes.
And the weapons are not random, as far as I'm aware. They are...
Well, I see a Greek Scotch slasher.
No, they are random. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong fishing codes. They are random.
Okay, but they're not all grease weapons, and we start with a very, very strong composition, especially on cannon. There's going to be a lot of shredding right there.
Yeah, so this is low tide cannon charge. Low tide is quite a tricky map to optimize on gone fishing. As much as we like normal tide and high tide for gone fishing, low tide has got this long corridor down the middle surrounded by water. It's this big choke point that if you end up having lots of spawns stuck in the middle, you can't bring them to basket and you run the risk of stalling. And so both of these teams here will show you what it looks like to lure these bosses out of that choke point so that they can get the eggs closer to basket.
Yeah, and we can see Clash by the big shot cannon to help getting more eggs to the shore, despite the bosses being splatted right by the shore. I mean, with the basket. Ooh, that's a splat. That's a death. An early death for Balanced Diet. That's going to be rough, because this is the kind of waves where you can get a lot of eggs.
Yeah, so this cannon charge, or whatever this wave is called, cannons, however we call it. Yeah, cohort charge, whatever we call it. It is one of the only night waves that is capped at a certain amount of eggs, because it is essentially a normal spawning wave, but with cannons and only cohorts. And we see both teams here scrambling to put those final eggs in. This is so close. Oh my god!
3 golden eggs between these two teams. That's how close it is between them. Let's see what Stellar Tide now does. This time we'll be on a normal tide, and we have double charger for this one. On these hallways that you have around the basket, these chargers will want to line up the fish so that they can optimize their DPS.
Yes. I just remembered which rotation this is. This is one random rotation with 3 weapons, because I was thinking, that doesn't make sense why it's only slightly different, but yes. And already we're starting off wave 2 with big shot spawns. Just to make it more difficult. Big shot spawns on this map on normal tide are quite tricky, because you've got this outer wall and this outer perimeter, and big shots force you to leave the outer perimeter. It forces you to stall spawns, and so optimizing these spawns can be quite tricky, and do you stay? These static spawns are so gross, and Stellatides are doing a really good job of getting rid of them, and also using the big shot cannon to tunnel all those static eggs back to basket.
Yeah, the fact
One of the
that
good
these
things about
fingers-
one of the good things about having a big shot spawn is that you get the cannon, and this cannon now allows all these eggs to go back to basket eventually.
Yeah, all these statics spawning not that far from the cannon is allowing Stellatides to really get a lot of eggs next to the basket. But now with 24 seconds left in the game, is it worth even going for that big shot? They want to run as many eggs as they can.
This is decision making. That was an unfortunate death on the side of Stellatides, but Balanced Diet have not had an easy wave either. In the corner of the screen, they were suffering with a couple of deaths too. Both teams suffering here, but I think Balanced Diet are able to put in slightly more eggs right at the end there. Gosh, that was a tough wave for both teams. Full of statics, full of big shots, full of deaths.
It was that death right next to the end allowed Balanced Diet to come back. And because it's not
absolutely, you're right.
It's not just the time that you spent as a lifesaver, it's also the time your teammates have to revive you, and the fact that they are it changes the way all the fish move the second you get splatted.
Yeah, and those 10 seconds, those 7 to 10 seconds that you're dead at the end of the wave there, you're not running eggs. You know, how many eggs could you have run in that time?
Yeah.
So, you know, you're absolutely right. That death there meant Balanced Diet won, and I don't mean that in a horrible way to whoever died there. No names, please. But we know it happens. It's chaos. That wave was chaos, and this wave is also looking quite messy already with these static spawns, big shot spawns. We're already seeing a death on the side of Balanced Diet here.
It's a rough one. The team has to spread all around the map because of the statics, because of the big shots. And right now they're paying the price needing to dodge everything that's going at them. At least there's a bunch of moths giving them free eggs. Moths are every salmon runner's friends.
Yeah, and you can leave them alive for quite some time. You're not going to struggle here. The mystery weapon for Wave 3 was a junior here. Juniors are decent in Salmon Run because they're able to paint and they have almost limitless amount of bombs, you know, just like in PvP. So they do complement a team very well.
Okay.
Stellatides are just taking a death in the last 10 seconds. I really think Balanced Diet have done it here, and we're going to see them in the finals. Unbelievable performance from Balanced Diet, being able to pull this back and take the win here. But Stellatides only 8 eggs behind them there. Nothing to be ashamed of at all.
And Stellatides, they knew they needed to take the extra risk in order to match the amount that Balanced Diet got. But in the end, these risks didn't pay off. They got the deaths and they lose 20 eggs because of that throughout the whole shift.
Yeah, I mean, well played to Stellatides there. All 4 games they played exceptionally well, and I genuinely thought after Wave 1 they were going to win this game, but Balanced Diet brought it back. They locked in.
Yeah. Balanced Diet really strong on this final game right there, and this was a rough Wave 2 and Wave 3, honestly, to have, because there were constant big shots, statics appearing all around the map and forcing all these players to address issues so far away from basket and be ready in the end to run everything just in time.
This is what I think is the difference between like a top team and a higher team, right? Is that yes, you can optimize the night waves and you can get insane high scores for the night waves, but then when it comes to those regular day waves, trying to optimize them, reducing the amount of deaths you take and pushing yourself to get more and more eggs on the limited capacity is why Balanced Diet have won this time. And GG's to Stellatides, but we're going to see Snooze Button versus Balanced Diet in the final. Who would have seen that coming?
Yeah, well, it's our top 2 teams for a reason. Pay attention, this will go very fast. We'll see a lot of eggs flying. Because we want to see as much as we can of these two teams, this will be a best of 7 that will prepare right away. So we'll send them the seeds, we'll prepare the lobby. Do not go anywhere, we'll be right back.